Welcome to the navigation and right-click menu video. We're going to take a look at how we navigate inside the views in this workspace here in TP and some of the right-click functions that are also available. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. First of all, the basics: if you hold shift and click and drag, it's going to move your kind of view space around here, and we can just move it way out there, and it kind of totally goes off screen. One of the navigation aids that we have is this little box up in the corner, which if we click kind of toward that operator there, it's going to go ahead and start to center it inside of our viewport. Let's go ahead and take a look inside this other, let's see if we don't really have a very big complex system here. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to select all these operators. We'll right click and say copy. And we'll just kind of shift and drag our view around and paste more, and we'll shift and paste more. So you can see our little mini view up here, our mini map, is giving us the ability to kind of jump around and click what's going to be kind of centered in our view. Now that's all good. It gets a little spread out like that. There's a little too much distance in between them. So one of the things that we can do is we can hold Alt and click and drag up or down in order to kind of zoom in and out of the entire view there. And then again, if we hold shift, we're able to kind of pan that view. We're going to go ahead and select all those operators. We'll zoom in a little bit so we can kind of see both of these. And then this is the thing that can be a little difficult in TP to get the hang of at first, is moving multiple operators at once. You have to hold down Control and then click on one of their title bars and then move them. And then they'll kind of move as a unit. So let's hold Shift, click and drag, hold Control, click our operator and drag it up here, hold Shift, click and move to pan, okay, and hold Control and drag our operators around. And we're holding Control with just those three. We'll kind of fit them in as such. Control. Okay. So just remember, moving multiple operators, highlight them, hold Control, and you can drag them around. You want to zoom in and out of your workspace view, hold Alt and drag up or down. And then of course, standard old Shift, click and drag and space will pan your view around like that. And you got to watch out, if you hold Shift and click on an operator and drag it, it's going to duplicate that operator and create an extra copy of it, typically with all the same parameters as the original had. The one case, just FYI, that doesn't work is things with like SC joint data. If we go ahead and assign that to an SC, shift and drag it, the duplicate ends up with a non-assignment. Although that may be fixed, we'll see, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is just about getting around inside the view, navigation. We've got our mini map. We can Alt and click and drag, Shift to pan. The only other thing that we might want to talk about is some of the right-click options here. Obviously, we've talked before about this first set of items just accessing the same menu that's up here in the Create rollout. And of course, we just saw we can select all those items there, right-click, and either choose to remove them, select them, cut, and move them into a different dynamic set by right-clicking and saying Paste. So just some basic editing functionality there. We'll go ahead and cut that. And then lastly, we have the ability to clear the write to debug log. So if we've ended up writing several values out to debug all over our dynamic sets, and we decide there's just too much going on in the debug window, we don't want to see all that data, we can go ahead and right click and say clear write to debug, and it'll take all those debug indicators off. There is some other information on the right click. Use UI as TD tool. We're going to cover that specifically in the TD tool video. Basically what that does is if you're set up for a TD tool, You're able to select an operator, right-click it, and say Use UI as TD tool, and now the UI for this operator is going to disappear out of TP, and it will only be available in the TD tool, which is going to be accessed. Let's see here if we select Thinking 01. So you can see that object particle parameters now become available and visible in the command panel, and that's part of the TD tool functionality. We'll cover that again specifically in the TD tool video. So we're going to turn off that Use UI as TD tool because we want the UI in here. Then lastly, the last right-click option there is Save, which is gives us the ability to save a selection of operators as a black box. And this is pretty handy if you wanted to do things like save out a black box just for standard shape and spin. We could go save. We're going to put it in our tutorials temp directory, which is just a bunch of kind of basic throwaway black boxes. Particle groups after loading. Well, what we're saving does not include any particle groups, so we're going to say none since it does not need any. And then let's say we didn't have those and we want them. We can come over and get the black boxes, tutorials temp, and I believe it was standard shape. Okay, and so now it recreates those. So just the right-click Save menu gives you that option to save just only the selected operators out as a black box, which is very, very handy. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for UI. Just remember Shift click to pan, Alt click and up and down to zoom in and out, and specifically that's hold Alt click and hold that click and move your mouse up and down. And then of course if you end up panned way out of your view and you can't see anything, look up on your mini map and click to kind of recenter that view. And then of course selecting multiple operators. If you want to move them multiple at once, hold Control, click on one of those operators, and you're able to move them around. Okay, so that's it for navigation.